So we spend the majority of our lives, almost 90% of our lives actually, in designed spaces. But we really have very little data about how we feel and experience those spaces. As our research team looked into this, we quickly came to the realization that in order to design better spaces, we need to better understand how people actually experience those spaces.
Well, since opening the Bentway in 2018, our Phase 1 site has been a shared backyard for hundreds of thousands of local residents in the downtown core and a site for active experimentation into new forms of city building and civic engagement. So we really see the ability to capture data in passive and active and qualitative and quantitative ways as adding tools to our tool set so that we can better understand what audiences are looking for when they visit the Bentway, and also how we can inform how we might improve the space for visitors and expand into other territories along the Gardner Expressway.
So our research team has been working on two different hypotheses. One that says that in order to actually understand how people use spaces, we need to collect what's called multimodal data. So lots of different types of data, some high-tech, some low-tech, from a variety of different participants. The second hypothesis is that we all know that successful public spaces work because they are collaborative and shared experiences. We think that the design process itself should also be collaborative and shared in order to be successful. So we're building an experimental participatory design platform that allows us to understand how objective features in a space connect with subjective experiences. By combining quantitative and qualitative data, we're able to better predict the experiences and behaviors that people will have in the spaces they use.
Our main goal in visualizing this data is to enable our viewers to be able to re-experience what our workshop participants experience as they walk through the Bentway. In order to do this, we created a visualization that ties in qualitative data that is directly from the participants themselves, as well as quantitative data that we got through sensors. And our visualizations are composed of different views from these different data sources. So for example, we have the path visualizations that comes from the GPS data that we get, and we're just using this to kind of show the path that the participants took during the workshop. We also show this 360 videos that were captured as they were walking, but we included segmentations of objects that we detected in that space, as well as the different relationships between those objects. By pulling all of these data together, like say the GPS data, we were able to show the path that the participants took. But also at the same time, since we were asking the participants questions, they were telling us why they are feeling certain things, for example. And then we're able to correlate those back together again.
So in a traditional design process, architects and designers usually go from form to experience. So they design a form and then they kind of guess at what the experience would be like in that form. What we're trying to do is really rethink that whole process from the beginning. Instead of starting from a form, we would start from an experience that the architect or designer wanted to create and then generate a form based on that experience.
So for example, in participants 12's case, we were able to show, say, there are peaks when they were seeing lots of trees or grass, but then we're also able to correlate that back into how they're feeling. And so during that time, they were talking about how they thought that the Bentway is beautiful to look at because aside from a lot of concrete, there's actually a lot of green spaces as well. So we're able to correlate those together.
So I think where we are today is almost where the sustainability movement was around 10 years ago, where everyone knew that sustainability was important, but it was really hard to measure and track the impact of carbon in projects. But now, because of new tools and new policies, we're able to run life cycle analyses, track carbon emissions to create more sustainable buildings. For experiential and participatory design, we're at the stage where maybe in another 5 to 10 years, these values that we're measuring will be integral parts of future built projects.